Hey there everyone, it's Janet Wakeland with RemARKably Created, back with video number 6. Hopefully you found a little bit of inspiration today, maybe taking a look at a different stamp set that maybe you hadn't noticed in the catalog before, picked up a little trick or an idea. Just as a reminder, I have a basket full of new products that I'm giving away. The way to win is to simply like, comment, share, engage with the graphic post and the video post. You can do that as often as you wish through 11:59 p.m. Central Time on May 20th, whether you're watching here on Facebook or on YouTube. You do need to be a follower though to be eligible. And this prize giveaway is hosted by myself personally, Janet Wakeland. It's not affiliated with Facebook or Stampin' UP. So this is the book that we are showcasing new product from. Everything in this book is available in my online store, janetwakeland.stampinup.net. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the new folders. Stampin' Up! Has different size folders, and as you can see, we're going to have a really big new folder that is literally like 6 inches by 8.5. So the folders are on page 129, and again, we're going to take a look at some tips and tricks with them, as well as some samples created with them. So let's just start with what I have on the top of the pile here. Stampin' Up! Actually has 4 sets. I'm just showcasing what's new, but Stampin' Up! Does have 4 sets. I'm going to adjust this just a little bit. Stampin' Up! Does have 4 sets of what we call hybrid embossing folders. And what those are is you have an embossing folder that we have dies to cut out some of the images. Our new one is this Seaside Wishes, and it's got kind of like some little sand and bubbles and kind of things like that around the sand dollars. And then the die cuts the 3 different size sand dollars, trying to say the right word, sand dollars out. I was always told that finding a sand dollar was good luck, so I don't know if you have any stories around sand dollars or anything that you've been taught, but when I see them, I always think of making a wish and then the story of throwing the sand dollars back into the sea. In addition, the hybrid folder does have a coordinating stamp set, Seaside Wishes, with some great greetings on it. So this is what we call a 3D folder. It's a lot thicker. Depending on how thick the folder is, whether it's standard or 3D, will determine what we call the sandwich. In the die cutting world, you have different platforms and plates. And just think of a sandwich that's like bread, lettuce, tomato, the meats, and things like that. That's what this is. You're going to have different ways of layering them. I'm not going to get into the specifics because there are a lot of different die cutting systems out there. If you have the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine, it's actually really easy because they're numbered and they tell you right there with pictures as well what dies or what sandwich, what plates to use with the dies. But your 3D folders give you really, really deep impressions. And here, I don't know, hopefully you can see this in the lighting. Let's put in a card to showcase for you. That's all done. In this case, I played with another one. It's actually 2 folders, and we'll get to the swirly one in just a moment. But Stampin' Up! Did introduce another new color besides our 5 in colors this year. We have this new beige, and so you can see the beige cardstock, you can see the beige ribbon, and then in this case I added some color to the folder with beige cardstock on the background. Sometimes the simplest things is the greeting right from here, and then just some of our little pearls. So nice, quick, and easy card. But this here, you can really see the depth of those folders, the details of those sand dollars. So that's that folder. Then another fun folder. I don't have samples made with all of them yet, but we're getting there. So you did see the swirls, okay? You saw the swirls on the background of this one. Here, you can see it plain blue in this case. Raised and recessed, okay? I added some different blues trying to create the feel of water. And the way that you do that is you either use a blending brush and you apply the ink direct here. You can use your ink pad direct to here. You can use an ink spot. You can use a Stampin' Up marker. Do not use a blend though, because you will stain the plastic. Everything else rinses right off. A lot of times when I do this, I can't decide if I want the ink to settle in or be on top. So a lot of times what I do is I choose to ink the top and the bottom, cut 2 pieces of cardstock, put them back to back, put them in there and run it through. It does emboss 2 pieces of cardstock easily. This is that new size, and let me just double check my flyer just to make sure that I'm giving you the right dimensions on that, but I'm pretty positive it's 6.5 or 6 inches by 8.5 inches. And this larger size is going to allow you to do great banners. It's going to be great for scrapbooking. For those of you that don't know, Stampin' Up! Is a global company with demonstrators in New Zealand, the South Pacific, and then all over Europe. And the card sizes are different in the South Pacific and Europe. So the demonstrators in the South Pacific are loving this larger size, as well as Europe are loving the larger size. You'll see in a moment too that they're great for slimline cards. It's going to be great for adding some larger matting and strips, textured strips and things like that to your scrapbooking pages as well. So the swirls are a lot of fun. I always like to showcase them for you in gold and silver, just because I think that it really helps you see the design. So it can be a river, it can be swirls, can be paint. And in this case, what I did was I made some caramel swirl ice cream. I simply used the die, the shape of the ice cream, to cut right from the swirls that I created and have myself a nice ice cream cone. And swirls are great for something like that. And again, just playing with the different colors. One of the things about embossing is color, and whether or not you add ink or whether or not you emboss on designer paper can totally change the look of that. So that's our swirly. Another fun one that we have is our new eyelet. And here you can see it in silver and in gold. White, of course, I always think of white eyelets. And then for these two here, I simply used the white craft ink pad and rubbed it across the folder, and then ran these through and got a little bit of white between them, kind of get more of a little bit of a lacy look, and making that image pop just a little bit more. And there you can see it on the beige. So again, a lot of fun with the eyelet. Another one is it's called Dashing Designs. And this one is, okay, it's missing an action. There's our eyelet folder. Our eyelet folder is a 3D embossing folder, so it's going to be real deep for you. But here you can see this is going to be a full card when it's all done. I only did half of it so that I could fold it. But here you can see it in gold and silver. Kind of looks a little bit more like weaving, something woven when you put it on the crumb cake. Same thing when you put it on our beige. And you may not have noticed it, but it was used on this card that you saw earlier. What's nice is sometimes you don't want designer paper on the background, and you also don't want a smooth background. Sometimes you want just a little extra to your card. An embossing folder is a way to give you just that little extra. Especially on like a neutral background or something like that, when you just don't want that blank slate, when you don't want it to look blank like that, you want a little extra something to it. You can use a folder for that. So in this case, we went ahead and used that Dashing Designs for that one. Then this fun one here is called Cute Crochet. And if you look at the pre-printed, it does look like it's been crocheted like granny squares. And here you can see it in gold. And what's really fun is one of the square shapes from Stylish Shapes does cut the squares out. So you could cut those squares out and have some fun designs with them. So you're going to be able to use that square from the Stylish Shapes to cut granny squares out and create some fun patterns with them. And again, just changing the look as you play around with them just a little bit. Here again with this one, I inked up the folder first and then ran it through. It's one of my favorite things to do. You can also take a blending brush once you've done this and just blend softly over top, and the raised portions will pick that up. You can spritz ink on them. You can do all kinds of things with these folders, guys. Lots and lots, and this is a 3D folder. And then another fun one that we have is it's another 6-inch by 8.5. I was right. I just double checking. Here was the one that the print that I was looking for. This is really fun circles that you have. I tried playing around with some of them, like our Stylish Shapes and our Spotlight on Nature, and they're all just a little bit close with the exception of this middle one. And you'll see that here in, did I bring it to the table? No, but you're going to be able to, yes, it's in here. Okay, so you're going to be able to cut this center piece out and have some fun windows and things like that. So let's take a look real quick. Again, the center piece actually cuts out really nice with the Stylish Shapes, but playing around, it's just a really tight, close fit using Spotlight on Nature. Now, some of you may have some of the older layering circle dies or non-Stampin' Up dies that are circles. So play around and see if you can get them to fit within the openings of these circles, and you can have some fun cutting out some different shapes, but just kind of showing you some fun looks with them. And just to show you what I meant by using them on a slimline card, I didn't finish this because I wanted you to see how nice this looks on that slimline card. So in this case, you've got 8.5 by, I should know this by heart, but I spent a long day, 3 3/4. So having that 8.5 length folder is perfect so that you can emboss an entire one. It used to be that we had to kind of do 2 pieces and then hide it with a ribbon or something like that. But now we don't need to do that. We can have with these larger folders an image the whole way. And what I did as well too, because of the 6 inches, created this really fun frame. This frame is from one of the kits that we have, the houseplant kits that has 4 frames in it. And I used the Full of Life dies and another stamp set that you have yet to see. Some fun sequins and ribbon, and just kept it simple with pink and black, but friends, you're such a blessing. And then I mentioned using the folder. So here is one of those pre-printed note cards from, it's called Calming Creek is the name of the pack of the note cards in the front of the book under Mix and Match. But can you see how smooth that is? And if I was to open it up, you can see that it's smooth. What I did was, you can see now on the inside cover that it's been texturized, and if I flip that over, look how much more interesting this, I mean, it's still fun printed, but look how much more interesting it is once you add a little bit of texture. And that same concept of a pre-printed note card works on designer papers as well. So you can add just that little extra as well as that little touchy-feely, that little texture, not just the look of texture, but the feel of texture. So, and this is one of the ephemera pieces that I colored with some Stampin' Blends, added some markers, and then look at that fun embellishment. It's all flat and textured. So lots of fun stuff, guys, with the embossing folders. Make sure that you check them out. I love embossing folders. They're an easy, they're really, really easy to store. They don't take up a lot of space. They're extremely cost effective, or you get a lot of wow for your money. They're not a huge financial outlay to invest in to build your crafting collection. So I love, love, love embossing folders, and they easily dress stuff up. It's like adding a pretty necklace to a little black dress is how I like to think of embossing folders. So make sure that you don't miss them. Again, you can find them simply by putting embossing folders into the search button in the online store, janetwakeland.stampinup.net, or you can also find them in the catalog on page, hold on, 129. You can see folders. There are more folders than this available, so you definitely want to check out the online store as well. So any questions again, just let me know, and I'll see you guys back here at 9 for a little recap and some more